Good morning, everyone, or good morning, daughter. Actually, you're really the only person I'm making this video for, but anybody that comes along, thank you for visiting and please enjoy your time with us, my daughter and I. Um, Today I'm talking about the fact that the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and many believe that God was the one that hardened it. Now, that wouldn't make any sense, would it? I mean, if he were to arbitrarily decide, those with gentle dispositions are saved and those with hardened dispositions are lost, and he did the instilling, then he would be an accomplice to evil. And there's never a time where God is an accomplice to evil. So it would make absolutely no sense. I'm just going to look at my notes here. Yeah, he's in any way does he ever indulge in evil or assist evil. And if he were to make someone's heart hard, they would not be guilty. God insists there's a choice. Just what God did understand about the Pharaoh is knowing the end from the beginning. What he did understand about the Pharaoh is that the circumstances that would be presented to him, he was not going to overcome. It wasn't the fact that he was hardened. It was that God knew that his future circumstances, he was not going to be able to prevail. He was going to become angry. Now look how many people, look at road rage. Look at all the different ways that anger is represented and demonstrated. People want to be in control. Pharaoh wanted to be in control. He was very, very determined to retain them. And those plagues came, and then eventually he was forced. But this was all planned. Them going through the Red Sea was their baptism. But Pharaoh's heart was not hardened. God knew that Pharaoh would harden his heart due to the circumstances that he was going to experience. He knew it 100%. Now, think of it this way. You can have wax and you can have clay. You could add sunshine. They both react differently. Wax softens, clay hardens. Now, the sunshine is the same. The heat from the sun and the sunshine is precisely the same. It is not the sunshine that hardens or softens the heart. It is the circumstances. So it's the material, it's the substance of the person. If you're either wax or you're clay, it's your substance that either hardens or softens. It's not God doing it, because truly that would be miserable. And if he were to actually do that, wouldn't God be making, wouldn't, in other words, the Pharaoh is not a fall guy. He's not a scapegoat. We're just going to dump it all on him. Judas had the same options. They chose. He's not a victim. Anyway, so the point is, Pharaoh went ahead and made the decision, because if you look at Exodus 9, it says, Pharaoh hardened his own heart. And when Jesus says, I hardened Pharaoh's heart, doesn't Jesus take the blame anyway? Would that be so far out of his character to not say to himself, I was involved in this? He takes the blame for things he doesn't do, like our sinning. He takes that blame, like our sinning. It's not a far reach to think that he would say, I'll accept, a little, in other words, to take responsibility. That's his nature. But the fact is, the truth is, he did it. Pharaoh chose. Judas chose. They suffered the consequences of it. So, let me just check my notes real quick. I think we've pretty much got this. Yeah, so we know that it's not the sunshine, it's the substance. So if light hardens people, that's because they hate Scripture. If you look at today's times, it's really no different. People harden themselves to the truth because they don't like what the truth says. It impedes in their lifestyle, and that's who they worship. If you want to know more about how a person feels, look at their finances, and you'll see where they spend their money. Or their time. So, daughter, I just want you to know, Pharaoh's heart was not hardened from an outside source. No, it was hardened within. Pharaoh chose to do exactly as he did. God knew it in advance, and he said his circumstances crippled him to the point where living a life in heaven would never be satisfying to him, ever. So even in that way, God is merciful. Those bound for hell, for those bound for hell on Judgment Day, they would have never have been happy in heaven, daughter. They would have never have been happy. This is their heaven. So he's merciful, cutting their